welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. For today's video, I have my Thrive in 2025 update. So I'm going to be talking to you all about my goals, the action steps that I completed in January. We're going to go over my little spreadsheet here in my Buick planner. And we're also going to talk about the action steps I plan to take in February. So if you have not seen my Thrive in 2025 videos so far this year, it is a little collaboration I am in. It's myself, a whole bunch of other women. They are all linked down below. We are all keeping each other accountable to meet our goals and to thrive throughout the year of 2025. So I have my little journal here. This is by the brand Buick. It's so beautiful. It's purple. It's gorgeous. It's got holographic foiling on the edges of the pages. And this is what I've been using to keep track of the action steps that I plan to take throughout 2025 to meet my goals. So we're going to go over everything I had kind of planned for January. We'll talk about how I did, and then we'll talk about my February action steps. If you are interested in knowing more about my 2025 annual goals, I filmed a video about that at the beginning of the year. I will put it in a little card above. Make sure you go back and check it out. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the goals are and how these action steps help me to meet those goals, but if you want the in-depth version, you're definitely going to want to go back and check it out. So last time I checked in with you was not that long ago. I got a late start in January, and I had made some progress on some of these things. I talked a little bit about the progress I had made, but now that January is completely behind us, how did I do? Well, after I last checked in with you guys, I got super sick. I was down for the count for a solid like 10 days, really sick. And so the latter half of January was kind of a wash. Did not do as well as I had hoped in January, but that's okay. I still accomplished some things. So as you can see here, clean out the fridge and freezers. I had made progress on that when I last checked in. Oh, you guys, I don't have my gel pens here with me, so we're just gonna have to use a Sharpie to check things off. That's okay. I completed this. I went through and cleaned out my fridge, my freezer, my pantries, everything. We made a solid plan in January to eat through some of the things that we had on hand. We did all of that. I feel really good about that. Okay? So that was a big check mark. Also wanted to take a food inventory. So when I set this little action step in motion, my plan was to use a whiteboard that I have in my kitchen to write down all the things that we have on hand, so that when I'm ready to do meal planning and grocery shopping, I could just look at that list, see if we have something on that list that I can use in my meal plan, and go from there. I did not do that. I did not go through, take a full-on inventory, and write it all down. I had every intention of doing it, I just didn't get around to it. So I guess you could call this a fail, but I have been going into my fridge, my freezer, my pantry when I do my meal planning every week, and starting out my meal plan with what I have on hand. So in that regard, I am taking inventory of what I have before I shop, just not in the way I originally intended it. So while the food inventory didn't happen kind of as I imagined it would, I have been doing a good job of taking inventory of my food. So we'll give myself a solid like C on that one. All right, start new savings challenges. I had already started that and completed it when I last checked in with you, so that check mark stands. Track work hours. I've been doing a really good job of this. And the idea behind this action step was for my work-life balance goal. I wanted to get a feel for how many hours I'm working in office, but also how many hours I'm working at home. So I wanted to really track the work hours for the business that my husband and I run together. It's a sewer and drain cleaning company. I wanted to track the amount of hours I was working there, as well as the amount of hours I was working on YouTube, because I really wanted to get a feel for, you know, how much time it takes, how much time I'm having to dedicate to those things, since those are my income sources. YouTube's kind of funny because while it is a source of income for me, it's also a hobby. So it's kind of hard to figure out where that should fall in terms of work-life balance. Like, yes, it's work, but it's also fun. So I've been struggling a little bit with that. I have been tracking my hours, not super thoroughly, but I have been making an effort. So I'm gonna give myself a check mark for that. I did start a YouTube planner in January. We talked about that. Again, with trying to focus on how many hours I'm working on YouTube, trying to treat it more like a job, I guess, and less like a hobby, even though I still absolutely love it and will continue to do it even if I never make another dime from YouTube. Just been trying to think of it more as a job because I want to take it seriously and I want to continue to grow my channel. So I did start a dedicated YouTube planner, been planning out my videos ahead of time and scheduling work hours for YouTube, and that's been going really well. Less eating out, I'm gonna give myself a big check mark on that. It still wasn't great, but we definitely ate out less in January than we usually do. So I feel really great about that. And post 12 YouTube videos, I don't know if I ended up hitting this goal or not because I did get sick. I had a week off of posting videos. Ultimately, I think I did not end up getting a full 12 videos. I'll have to go back and count. For now, I'll just leave that blank. So that was January. Overall, even though I got sick, I still feel like I made solid progress. I really wanted to start out January full force, but not overdo it. A lot of times I go gung-ho with my goals in January, and by February I burn out. So this year I kind of found a middle ground. I really worked on some things that were important to me, but I didn't overdo it. And overall it was a good month. So I would say January was a win. I'm happy with it. Let's talk about the action steps I plan to take for February. Now, before I get into these, I know that this does not look super pretty. You see some YouTubers who share their like bullet journals and planners and stuff, and they're gorgeous with really beautiful lettering and art. Y'all, that ain't me, okay? This is the best I can do. The main thing that I wanted to do was sit down and get these things down on paper, so I did. Here's my action steps for February. This is what I hope to get accomplished in February to help me reach my overarching goals, okay? So in terms of like financial things that I want to do, I am setting myself a no eating out challenge for February. That's no eating out at all. And y'all, this, if I manage to accomplish this, that and nothing else, I'll be thrilled because this is a huge thing for us. We eat out a lot, like $400 a month plus a lot. And that money could better serve me elsewhere. So I figured with February being a shorter month, this was the month to try it. We'll see how we do. I don't want to eat out. We have lots of convenience things I can have on hand. You know, I don't expect myself to cook 4-course meals every night. I just want to avoid the drive-thru, avoid the DoorDash. Okay, so that's the first thing. If I can manage that, oh my God, that would be amazing. We'll see how it goes. Honestly, I don't have high hopes, but even if I set the goal to not eat out at all and we eat out twice, that's still way better. So I'm aiming high with no eating out at all. We'll see. I will check in with you guys throughout the month and let you know how this goes. Also want to do a grocery low spend. We did this in January. I didn't write it down, but we did aim to, like I said, clean out the fridge and freezer, eat down what we had. So we aimed to spend less on groceries in January. It went well. I want to continue that. We're going to spend more in groceries in February than we did in January because we ate down a lot of what we had on hand and we're not planning to eat out. But still, I hope to keep my grocery spending as low as possible. The economy right now sucks, so doing what I can. And then bulk buys sinking fund. There's a lot of things that I buy in bulk from Sam's Club. You know, we buy our toilet paper in bulk, we buy our coffee pods in bulk, and I think it would be fun to have a sinking fund dedicated to that. So that is something that I want to start in February. All right, in terms of my mental health, things that I want to do to help my mental health, because January was a struggle. I am very much a seasonal depression girly, so this time of year is tough for me. You know, the hustle and bustle and fun of the holidays is over. We have nothing but like cold, gray, gloomy days here in Southeast Michigan. The days are short. it's a tough time. So I really want to focus on keeping my mental health in check in February. The ways that I want to do that: less social media in general, less Instagram, less Facebook. There's so much bad news all over the place right now. There's so much negativity on social media, and I get sucked into it, and I spend so much time like doom scrolling, and I need to not do that in February. So I didn't set a specific amount of time, like no limits, no only get on social media for 1 hour a day or whatever, just to do less. And I will be able to gauge whether I do less or not, and I'll let you know. So far, so good. So far, so good. No screens after 10. This is a big one. I struggle with insomnia. I can't sleep at night. The number of times that I have been laying in bed at midnight scrolling on my phone, like I said, doom scrolling, it's not good. And I know I'll sleep better if I cut my screens off and do some of my more like cozy hobbies at night, do some coloring, do some word searches. That'll be better for me overall mentally. And reading. I want to read 2 books this month. That's a small goal, but I only read 1 in January, and it was fully on audio. I read Sherry Frankie's book, The House of My Mother. I really enjoyed that, by the way. But I want to read at least 2 books in February, and I know that if I'm cutting screens off at 10, I'll have a lot more time for reading. Ideally, I'd like to be like in bed asleep by 10, but I know me, that's not going to happen. Eventually, I want to move towards that, but we're starting slow. No screens after 10. I want to be reading or coloring or something instead. For my physical health, okay, weight loss is always a goal of mine. You guys, I'm almost 300 pounds. I've been morbidly obese my entire life. Like, nobody's surprised that I have weight loss things here. I'm still not going full whole hog with my weight loss because I do that. I cut my calories drastically, I lose weight, and then I burn out and I gain it all back plus some. I do not want to do that in 2025. So we're starting slow. I want to focus on drinking more water in February, and I just want to track my meals. I'm not putting any sort of restrictions on them. I'm not telling myself I can't eat anything. I just want to see where I am. So I want to track my meals, figure out about how many calories I'm eating a day. I don't know that I'll do this every single day, but I just want to make a concerted effort to do that. Meal plan that goes along with the low spend groceries and the not eating out. If I'm gonna accomplish those things, I need to have a meal plan every week. And prep. I need to prep some things ahead of time because, you know, I'm busy, I get tired at night, so I want to do what I can there. All right, you guys, and now for the work-life balance for work and YouTube. Mostly YouTube related. I want to post 12 videos. That was my goal for January. And specifically, I want to post at least 2 members only videos. So in terms of what I earn on YouTube, it is not a lot. If I was in this for the money, I would have quit a long time ago. I do not earn a lot of money on YouTube. I'm grateful for every single penny. But the majority of the money that I earn from YouTube comes from my channel membership. My ad revenue is pretty darn low. I would not even get a payout some months based on ad revenue alone. Because if you don't know this, you don't get a YouTube paycheck or a Google AdSense paycheck, whatever it is, unless you break $100. And there's definitely been months recently where my ad revenue has not earned me that. But the amount of money I earn from my YouTube memberships takes it up over that threshold. So I earn typically between like $200 and $300 a month on YouTube, primarily from my memberships. And I really want to recognize that and give back and do more members only content. I regularly was posting 1 members only video a week for a long time, and I've fallen away from that. I don't want to post videos just for the sake of saying I posted a video. I really want to give quality content. So I'm trying to find a balance there. I really want to post at least 2 members only videos. And every one of the tiers except for the very lowest tier gets access to those members only videos. So I want to be focusing on that in February. Thank you. If you are a channel member and you are watching this, I cannot thank you enough for being here, being part of my membership. I think that the perks are pretty awesome, and I want to continue to offer really great perks, and members only videos is part of that. So I really want to try to get 2 good members only videos. If you have suggestions or recommendations for members only videos that you want to see, leave them down below, whether you're a member or not. But yeah, that's what I want to do. At least 12 videos, 2 members only videos. I'd like to do more than that even, but that's the goal. And then my March worksheets. If you don't know, every single month I post a poll in my community tab with 4 different patterns that I'm considering for the next month's budget worksheets. I primarily film budget videos. I don't know that there's necessarily anybody here that is watching me for my goal content and not for my budget content, but just in case, you never know. Let me show you really quickly my budget worksheets for February. This is what they look like. And every month I post a poll with a couple of different patterns that you can choose from for me to feature in my next month's budget videos. So, or budget worksheets rather. So I've already posted the poll for March. If you have not yet voted in that poll for the pattern that you like the best, I'd love it if you would go ahead and do that. I have had that poll up for a little while. I need to start working on my March worksheets, and so I have to have a winner in that poll. So go vote if you haven't done that yet, but that's on my radar. Of course, it's kind of a gimme. I do worksheets every single month, but with February being a shorter month, I want to really prioritize getting it done in the front half of the month, just so that time doesn't get away from me, because time goes so quick. And then lastly, just continue to track hours, my work hours, my YouTube hours. Now that I sort of did a baseline for January and I know about how many hours I worked, I can continue to track and keep an eye on those hours and see, you know, if it starts to creep up the amount of hours I'm spending in the office, I really want to prioritize my home life at that point, and vice versa. If the number of hours that I'm working is lower than I'd like, I really want to make sure I boost that up. I don't want to get behind on my work, my like in-office work, but I also don't want to get behind on home life. I want to find a balance. In 2023, I was all about work and I let my home life suffer. In 2024, I was more about home life, and in the end, my work life suffered. So the balance is where I'm trying for this. So continuing to track hours and keep an eye on that will help me to stay balanced. It's tough when you run your own business and you're your own boss, you make your own schedule. It's tough to try to walk that line and stay balanced. So tracking hours is going to help me with that. So that's a look at what's on my radar for February, the action steps I hope to take to help me to continue to work towards my 2025 annual goals, you know, striving to thrive in 2025. Make sure you check out all of the channels that I listed down below for everyone else in this collaboration. You know, being there for support, your guys' support means the world to me, knowing I have somebody to be accountable to, both this group of women as well as all of you watching this video, helps me to stay on track when I feel like giving up. So I appreciate you so much for being here. If you like this video, will you please give it a thumbs up? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what action steps you're planning on taking in February to help you reach your goals. You know, and if you have found yourself here in February and you haven't made any progress on your goals, you guys, there's so much time left. It's not too late to start. I'd encourage you to sit down, figure out what action you want to take to help you meet your goals and start striving to thrive in 2025. Bye, friends.